Hello, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the mums, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
This is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat with me, Kev Dillon, Lee Cadman and Craig Pinches. Today we're going to talk about nostalgia, things that, well, just ain't there no more. It's funny, at the boxing club we have loads of conker trees, and I remember only about 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and granddads would come up with a bag full and they'd be collecting conkers because all the kids would be out. It was something you could do for free. And no one does it no more. So I walk around and I collect all the best ones and I put them on the side. And no one cares. But it was something you could do for nothing. And I remember the most fun part of conkers was collecting the conkers, throwing a brick up into the trees and in the rattle. And they'd all come down, loads of bricks and bars that someone else had thrown up. And, you know, just these things that aren't there no more. And we were talking about Blockbuster video. For our younger listeners, Blockbuster videos was where we'd have to go and you'd rent a video or a DVD.
Physical Netflix.
Or you'd have your supermarket at
Do
the
you want
box.
to explain what a video is to the...
Video. I don't know how to describe it. But it was these things that we used to watch movies on. But it was brilliant, wasn't it, gang? You know, all the family going out and looking for something. And you'd come back with Kickboxer, or you'd come back with, I don't know, and you'd find your favourite movies. Every time I was poorly, Mum would take me to the video shop and I'd come back with Princess Bride, or I'd come back with Songs of the South, and I used to just sit there under my blankie and I'd watch the same video over and over.
Me and Mum used to go and get some romantic DVDs, videos. I'm not scared of romance. We used to get The Godfather.
That's not romance.
That's romance, Kev.
Waking up with an horse's head at the bottom of your bed.
Yeah, I could see
That's
that.
foreplay around pens, isn't it?
Other areas are just as out there. What should I say? I've got pins at family and friends.
But it's funny, isn't it, when you look back on some of the stuff, or when you used to have your cassette, you have your...
Can you explain what a cassette is?
cassette. You'd have this cassette for your music on, and you'd have it on your Walkman. And then you'd have to, because it hadn't got fast forward and rewind, so you'd have to fast forward it, then turn the tape over to listen to it again.
That's it.
Cassette is something that we used to have to do. Even me, I mean, I'm only 30, but we used to have to do it. Cassette is something that you used to have to record your music on.
Yeah.
And you had to cut the song short just so you'd hear the DJ's annoying voice.
Yeah, you'd be sat there and
Because the sly buggers had fucking comment about a minute before the song ended, because they know you was about to record that shit.
Or you'd have like a CD and you'd pick your favourite songs and you make yourself a mixtape. And it was
mixed
wicked.
CD.
A mixed CD.
That's it.
But they were great things before iPads and iPods and...
There's something about having something physical as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like having a physical DVD or a CD that
Well,
you do miss.
I still have...
Apart from Kev, because he still goes to HMV.
I
He's
still
the
go-
one.
He's the one.
I love owning a CD, because to me, like buying something on iTunes, it's not real, and I like it when I put it on. And I think the best thing about a CD is finding that track that no one else knows, and you'll go, "Have you heard number 17 on?" And you go, "No, it's not on the Greatest Hits album." And I go, "But this song," me and Craig were talking the other day about love music. Well, I think one of the best Tupac songs was Part-Time Mother on Tupacalypse Now album, but it's not on any of the greatest hits or anything, but it makes it more personal to you.
But how often now, because you use because the access to like Apple Music or something like that, you don't actually listen to a full album.
No.
You'll listen to your favourite songs off a load of different apps, because it's all there. It's all
I
there.
said that to you the other day. I mean, iTunes made it so as you could download individual songs from an album.
Well, we had to go and buy a single,
That's
and
it,
if you're lucky, it had a B-side on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I remember when I bought Khalif, Sands of Time, on the second side of the tape, it was Case of My Defence, and it was still one of my favourite hip-hop songs now. But sometimes you get lucky, sometimes it'd be a remix or whatever, but sometimes it'd be a song that was on the single that wasn't on the album.
And sometimes you buy an album and only like one song on
Yeah.
it.
I remember that with the Loonies, got 5 on it. Great, one of the brilliant hip hop songs. Terrible album.
Yeah. Only 1, 2. And Coolio with,
Gangster's Paradise.
and who's the Return of Mark Morrison. You know what I mean? In, like, Return
Mark-
of
Return of the Man.
It
was,
was
yeah.
Mark Morrison on it.
No,
was it?
no, Gangster's Paradise is Coolio.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but like
Yeah,
Mark
yeah.
Morrison as well. There's always that one song that you'd buy the album for and think, it's got to be fire. If that song's that fire. You know, like Peter Andre, Mysterious Girl, there I know a few people bought back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mentioning their
Not me.
names.
No, mate.
I was a bit young, I was still a kid. My pocket money, they stretched to
Well,
Peter.
I mean, nostalgia. My first song was Cotton Eye Joe that I ever brought. Oh God, that's embarrassing now, isn't it?
Nostalgia. Nostalgia. Peter Andre was the only bug with a 6-pack. You know, nowadays everyone's got one.
He was, yeah, let's not go and up on Peter Andre.
But isn't
Unless
it-
anyone wants to buy any merchandise.
But isn't it funny, you know, when you look back at stuff and some stuff you love, but then you try and put it onto your kids and you're going, oh, I love the Thundercats, so let's watch it. And you think,
Then you're a dinosaur.
yeah, then you think,
Oh, you think it's a pile of crap? You think, why did I used to watch this?
Well, we used to, like, I think that with cartoons sometimes, like, we used to watch something called Defenders of the Earth. I don't know if anyone...
Yeah, I remember
Defenders of the Earth. You know, and I got a clue what I'm on about. And I think, I can remember, or Biker Mice and things like that.
Yes.
You know, and you do miss them because everyone says it's a generational thing. Everyone of a certain generation says they don't make music like they used to, they don't make this like they used to, and they don't. You know what I mean? Some of your parents used to just play with fucking a wheel and a stick. You know what I mean? And roll it down.
Don't make toys like they used to.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Going back to like the Conkers and that, you know, there was nothing like your mum and dad sending you to school with a bag full of Conkers to have fun with your friends, and you're coming back with no fucking knuckles. You know, there was nothing like it because you always had that one big friend who they aim for the damn.
but half the fun of Conkers, one even playing it was you put in the nail varnish, or you put in the vinegar, you
that's
put in the airing cover. That was half the fun, collecting
Keeping
them.
this one for 5 years so it hardens up.
This one's a 10Z. It's had 10 games.
And I think,
And
I think
collecting
that's,
them.
Collecting.
like you said, it's about having that physical thing and about having that, like sort of like bonding time, like we were Blockbusters. It was the physically going there with somebody that you wanted to watch a movie with and having a bit of banter in there. I could be an hour and a half with my missus when I got with my missus, you know what I mean? And like you said earlier as well, you'd also then get snacks and we'd get
It's a night out now.
exactly, you know, and but all that's gone, but
But whether you're doing like Sky Movies or Netflix or all these other platforms, once again, I'm a dinosaur. But like me and Lee were saying, well, you'll scroll through for 45 minutes and then decide not to. But if you had that in front of you, you'd put it in, be it as crap as like Anaconda.
I'm going to make it to the end.
But you sit there and think, I've paid £2.50 for this, so we're sitting here as a family. None of us likes it, but we are going to watch this bloody movie.
That's right. That's right.
you do miss them, and I think, like I say, that's a generational thing now. Our parents miss things from back when they were younger, and their parents, no doubt, and our kids will miss the shit from today. There's no authenticity today. They're more going to miss staring into a fucking
I think
screen.
it created more communication as well, more face-to-face communication. Like I think of my kids now, so you know, playing Conkers, you have to be physically in front of someone else to play it. Whereas now you can be on a computer and you're doing it that way.
And depending on who you was going against, you'd actually be scared with Conkers. It was like you was about to take a punch in the face, man. It was a game. It was a competition.
But
in
the
a
same
friendly
same
source.
goes for going to Blockbusters. Now we just mentioned it earlier. You sit on Netflix while your missus on the phone next to you scrolling and you're just scrolling. There's no communication. You went to Blockbusters and you had to choose.
Yeah,
A
So you
video.
had to talk to each other to choose that video.
And you didn't want to make a mistake.
And you mingle with other people as well who'd say, you know
Is
what I
that
mean?
the last one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's mine.
Or they'd actually give you recommendations of the
Yeah.
workers. I mean, that was, I've been with my missus nigh on 13 years, so it's not all that long ago.
No.
But it seems like a million years since Blockbuster shut its doors.
Yeah.
And if you think, hey, what's replaced it? All this shit, you know what I mean? Where they can suggest, like, you're limited, especially with Netflix. Like you said earlier, Kev, You know, I don't even want to say it, because that's a niche market you could tap into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll intrigue these people. Listening
My
next
idea,
week
you can't
when
have
we're
it.
still- Listening next week, we're still not going to reveal this
Investors.
We may be millionaires.
idea. So this might be our last episode.
No, we'll carry on.
Yeah, we'll
Got
carry on.
nothing to do if I'm rich.
But in it, like we were saying about nostalgia, like before Jasmine was probably, she was a baby in arms, and we went to a supermarket. We were buying loads of Disney movies and kid movies that we enjoyed, like Bambi and Jungle Book, but because the colours aren't so bright now, and the songs are more nowadays, are more poppy songs and ear grabbing songs. Back in the day, it's very
It was about deer dying.
and it's very old songs. Oh, never get this wrong. Never buy your kid Watership Down.
God, no.
But they were more, I don't know, like very old, weren't they? And it's funny when I've put these movies on, even like The Little Mermaid, Jasmine's not half as keen. She loves the doll, she loves the picture of Ariel, but the cartoon itself doesn't grab her.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays they're designed to grab, and I think they have got better because there's jokes from mums and dads and everything in there.
I think as well, like we seem to be sticking like with the Blockbusters thing, like with Netflix and that. There's curators that curate what they feel is going to be interesting to you at that time. They don't fucking know us. They've never met us, so they don't know what's interested and how open we are to suggestion. You know, so they'll feed you the shit that they think that you want. Whereas Blockbuster, you could go spend an hour and a half, 2 hours.
And you
Fine.
choose what you want.
Exactly, and find multiple. And then you go back the next week and people think it's the same shop. Yeah, but people have returned DVDs and they've had new stock in and whatever else. And you look at the cover and you think, I mean, I watched Baby Boy.
Yeah, I remember.
Is it
Baby Boy.
Tyrese?
Yeah.
Tyrese is in it.
Baby Boy was like he was the same writer who did Boys in the Hood, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Same
and
writers.
I probably would never have watched that on Netflix because like the case looked a bit like a low budgety kind of film and stuff.
It probably was.
was,
Exactly, but it was a good film, but you don't get, I mean, like your Fridays and your Hawaii's and your Don't Be a Menace and stuff like this, that they don't put these on Netflix. Them few and far between. They fill
They're
you with
cult classics, weren't they?
and you can't get them. You got to buy them, and if you live in a council house, you ain't really got a lot of space. Kev rents a separate council house just for his albums.
Just for his CDs.
And I like the fact Kev buys music because I'm in the music industry, to a point. So I fully support Kev buying albums and then burning me a copy because it's all about the supporting the industry.
But about nostalgia as well. Like, look at pubs nowadays. Back in the day, before we had mobile phones, you'd go to the pub to see what everyone was doing. So you'd all meet up in your local booze and you'd go like, where we're going to Stourbridge or Brum or Wolves after this. Whereas nowadays, you send a text message or a face ache or whatever going, all right then, we'll meet up at 11 o'clock and we'll go. Whereas the pubs were the hub of the community. So you'd know your next door neighbour, you'd know your Uncle Albert, and you'd know how to conduct yourself because you were in a man's environment.
Well, you did business in the pub as well. You met people who, like one of my ex-bosses, who's a roofer, he went to the pub every Friday, and it wasn't just to get pissed. That was one of the reasons. But he used to get so much work through going to the pub, from recommendations, speaking to people. Yeah, I'm a roofer, let's go around and do this.
I think as a conspiracy theorist, there's a big political agenda which has put a stop to all this, How you going to darken it with that shit on this one? But like that's how it's designed. It's designed to shut you out because there's higher ups, there's higher folks that don't want you mingling with each other for that very reason.
And if they do, then they can see what you're on about on these platforms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can talk what the fuck you want, but it's regulated. Whereas in a pub, how many people finish work and then put the world to rights, and then how many of them, that community, had big ideas and protests and whatever else? It's regulated there. No, people can say it, but they can see what you're saying and they know what you're saying. Whereas a pub, it's brought to stop that you go and put the world to rights.
But when you had a pub, the pub would look after the village. You go dot down the road. She got knocked over the other day, or Brian's had his car nicked again.
Money in the pot.
And you'd look after each other. You'd say, Lee, you're out of work. Don't worry, I'll get you a bevy. Or Craig's got a job for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or if you were going through hardship, you could go and say, so and so's having problems, and you'd all stick together. But now we don't, because we only live in our own living rooms. We don't give a toss about someone else, and you don't see.
Do you think that's a reason we get more mental health problems? Because blokes actually talked in a pub.
You're
Yeah.
segregated.
Yeah, you go to a
divide.
pub, you get drunk, the truth starts, and that's helpful. Whether you're drunk or you're sober, to start to talk is helpful.
And even on a woman's side of it, like I picked this up not long back with my partner's mum. She said to, I don't know if it was his sister, yeah, Facebook me or messaged me, and I actually thought at the time, 15, 20 years ago, that would be, I'll pop round in the morning for a coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no face-to-face interaction, and that's why it's so easy to say negative comments and whatever else and feel shit, because you're lonely, because you're disconnected. In a world full of connectivity, we've never been so disconnected.
Well, I always remember,
and it's
like,
crazy.
when the smoking ban happened, that's when a lot of the older generation become lonely, because you'd have 3 old buggers sitting in the pub, rain outside, it was cold, they'd be sipping the mild, having the roll-ups, watching whatever was on the telly, and even though they weren't necessarily talking, one would be reading his paper, the other one would be doing dominoes, the other one was doing whatever, they were in each other's company. Whereas when the smoking ban happened, they couldn't smoke, they couldn't afford the beers, so what they end up doing is just sitting at home, being on their own.
Now that validates what I just said about there being a conspiracy about it. It's set up. I mean, smoking ban and stuff, I believe, was planned 2 decades ago, maybe. You know, as a way to bring that. Then the higher prices on beer, it's a way to shut you out.
Higher prices in a social event,
Yeah,
but cheaper to go and do it on your own.
sold you on your own.
Because back in the day, people won't probably remember this apart from the off licence, you could only buy booze from an off licence, and off licence were only open at certain times. So, you know, you went to the pub to drink.
Yeah.
And that was it. Obviously, the alcoholics have always been, and people have always got the booze, but it was harder to get booze because you'd have to go to an offer. You couldn't go to one of the supermarkets to go and buy it.
Well, you can get it from anywhere now, and it, as you say, it's cheaper.
It's like
So
50 pence a can if you buy it in bulk.
What you can do for a tenner in a supermarket compared to a pub.
And that's what I say. I mean, like you say with the smoking ban, who's going to want to go to a pub, pay their extortionate prices for a beer, and then have to go and stand in the fucking cold to have a cigarette?
Yeah.
When my granddad's and that my granddad used to drink in the fish by the Dell Stadium. He used to drink in there. That was his local, because he lived in the bungalows behind. So he'd walk past there. You'd walk in. He passed when I was young, but I remember going in when I was old enough to drink. And he'd be full of... You come out stinking of smoke, but everyone was laughing, joking, dominoes, playing. My uncle was singing, he's a singer, you know what I mean? And you think,
that was a community.
a community. Now, what needs to happen is a community needs to be divided, because, you know, if there's a chance, me, you, Lee, and like-minded individuals are going to go in that ring there, and we're going to come up with a bright fucking idea which is going to challenge the status quo of certain fucking organisations. What am you going to want to do? You're going to want to come and make sure we stay out that fucking ring. You don't want people like us together. So you don't want a load of working class blokes having a few babies after they've had a tough day at work, or had a row with the missus, coming up with a bright fucking idea. You know, and that's, like I say, slightly off from nostalgia, but conspiracy theories is a subject for another time, I suppose.
But conspiracy theories are a new thing.
Am I?
Yeah, I think so. Look, 'cause nowadays, but even that, like, every thought that everyone has is on there, isn't it? Whereas a conspiracy theory might be in your pub. You know, you'd all have a little idea and you'd all bounce it off. But nowadays, a theory is worldwide, isn't it?
Well,
you could say something to someone in Denmark, and you go, "Oh yeah, the world is flat."
Here's another one for you. Conspiracy theory is a term brought up to sort of discredit some kind of facts. So there's a conspiracy theory for you, that the conspiracy theory is a conspiracy theory. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
The greatest
That
trick the
happens a
devil
lot.
Ever pulled?
the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it never existed.
What's that off?
Um,
Because I said it on Blood and Bone.
Al Pacino, Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate.
I
Yeah.
said it on Blood and Bone with
Still a good film.
I knew you were
Michael
gonna say
J. White. Have you seen that one?
that. No,
Is it Michael J. White, Blood and Bone?
no, I've never heard of it.
Good film. Never heard of
Is
Michael
that
J.
the,
White?
No movie.
No, it's
he comes out of jail and Street Fighter.
no, he's in the police force.
Oh, right.
He's in the... Yeah, no, yeah. I think I'm on the wrong fucking film.
No, I might be. I think it might be the other way around. Anyway.
Anyway.
I digress.
Yeah.
But even like Craig being from the music industry, like when I go there and they go, oh, he's a great DJ, and people are on an iPad going, whoop, mix, whoop. My opinion of a DJ is like on the vinyl, and you know they could make those 2 records sing. It's like playing a guitar,
Disc
and
jockey.
yeah, disc jockey, and every day, and they come in with their big bags of vinyl, and they go like, have you got, I don't know, Snap?
No.
Sorry, mate. But nowadays they go, oh yeah, have you got whoever? And they go, yeah, beep, bop, bop. And it's on there, perfectly mixed. And I thought being a DJ was an art form. It was like playing the guitar or the piano.
Yeah.
Then he moved to CD decks. And now, as I say, it just seems
It's a laptop.
lifeless.
It is, and I mean, even sound in itself, talking of music, you know, that vinyl sound, that gritty sound, you know, you could listen to, I mean, me is what I look for, like, but usually I can pinpoint within a year or two a song because it had a specific sound or whatever, and if you listen to a vinyl, you can sort of tell what kind of era it's from,
Right.
whereas, you know, music today, digitally, is too fucking clean. It's time, like...
Well, the worst thing is they're trying to clean up the old songs as well. There's no need.
Why?
You know, I read up Chili Peppers Under the Bridge, actually listening to that acoustic and hearing his hand go up and down the guitar.
Yeah.
It's like
is
trying
one
to
of the
clean
joys of it.
Nirvana's music up and that. I mean,
Yeah.
they were grunge.
Yeah.
You know, the very definition of that word is non-fucking clean.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and I mean, I did see something on a producer not long back, and they said you know, records are so clean now, but where we got the advantage is we got all the tools to dirty and to put some dirt on them to flavour. So we can put all the grit on them to a flavour that we like.
Yeah, but then it's false.
Then it's false. Exactly. But like times change, and I think every generation go through it, but we're relics. I mean, I'm 30 and I feel like a fucking 60-year-old.
Well, I went through Kings of Winford the other day, and my God, that surprised me how that's changed from because I don't go through there very often, but actually driving through there and seeing how that's changed. And
It is shame.
Christ, that used to be that, and that used to be that, and that used to be
The thing is, that's
What's
in
happened to the cross?
that's in every high street you drive through, and it's a takeaway, a bookie, and a charity shop.
Yeah.
No matter where you go in the
Coffee
country, coffee shop, bookies, takeaway shop, and charity shop.
Charity shop,
And
yeah.
I'm happy that these shops are used. I'd much rather them be a charity shop than to just be derelict. But isn't it upsetting when you haven't got the community anymore? You shut down the bank, so people stop going there.
Yeah.
And if you shut down the bank or the post office or the pub, and then you have to park in your village, you have to pay to park in your village to keep that village going.
Yeah.
So you might as well go to a Merry Hill.
Yeah.
You park for free and you can do all your shopping under one roof instead of walking
It's
down.
hell on earth.
And it's hell on earth, Merry Hill.
It's funny you should say that, because I've just started this thing, and I called it the Local Business Appreciation Series, and that's for that very reason, because I'm tired of seeing these small places, you know what I mean? There are family-run businesses being put out of business by big fucking corporate organisations, and part of that is like you think back and say, my mum used to go there, and my dad used to go in there. It was cultured. It's out cultured now. It's all one face, and it's all shiny
The
and
problem
flashy.
with that as well, you lose trades. Trades. There's no, you know, everything's like your big corporations are buying everything from everywhere that are created by robotics, but actually, I mean, I remember being in Stourbridge Town Centre, and it was a fete of some sort, and seeing someone blow glass there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing to watch them do it.
There's
But
a
that's a lost art now.
Yeah.
You know, he was an older person himself. So
But Stourbridge
who's going to learn that?
But
and
Stourbridge
carry
was
it on?
famous for that.
That's right.
Nationwide, you
That's
know,
it.
we've got the cone down the road, and
Wordsley, yeah.
but that's what made Stourbridge famous, you know, for that glass blowing.
That's it.
I mean,
you get yourself to Black Country Museum
Oh,
for nostalgia.
wonderful.
It's just out of this world.
Mate, we are from, like, when you go to the Black Country Museum and you see how we live. What's in the Black Country? You know, do you know how powerful we were as a workforce? You know, the steel industries and the glass industry and whatever else. And you think, now all that's gone and replaced by what? You know.
I mean, I was thinking about this and talking about this to a friend the other day. You think about cars, like classic. We're going to have classic cars in the future, but they're going to be Ferraris and things like that. You won't get like the Mini You won't get a classic Mini.
No.
There won't be that people's car or the Beetle that comes through that's affordable, that sells in droves, that is now a classic.
'Cause
I don't
it's
think
just
you'll have
scrapped.
that. Well, everything's just manufactured in such a big amount, unless you're talking things like Ferraris and Lamborghinis.
But it's what people want because they associate shiny with
But it all looks
appealing.
the same, doesn't it? Like you look at cars now, and
There's no character.
No, there's no character.
no character, no
style,
footprint.
There's no flaws. You
Yeah.
know, there's nothing. You know, these
Look
old
under a
cars,
bonnet.
Yeah, that's it.
We used to strip the old Escorts. We could strip a Mark IV in a few hours. You know what I mean? You only needed it.
I remember stripping my Mini on the drive, literally stripping the engine down on the drive. If I look at my van out there now, I'd struggle to find the spark plugs
It's
on
just
some of these new
plastic.
cars. Yeah.
It's just plastic.
But once again, about communities, you know, like if your belt went, you'd know someone who could do it.
Yeah.
You get you get your tights, or you get a belt, and you knew someone who could do it. But now, because everything's electrical, and I always think about this like with just goodwill. Back in the day, when you'd park somewhere, you'd pay for your space, you'd stay there for 5 minutes, and then you'd pull up, and I'd say,
Yeah.
right, but if I only had 5 minutes on this, you got another 10 minutes, and I'd pay. That was just goodwill, but now you have to type in your registration.
Registration.
Yeah.
So we're not
Right.
encouraged. That space has been paid for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So who gives a kipper's dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
That's right.
Again, it's that spiteful nature designed to breed selfish.
It's corporation,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's corporate,
How much money can we get
Everything's
out
a
of this
fucking
space?
business. Everything's a business, and it instills within you, like us, when you feel like, fuck me, everyone's treating me as a commodity or as a customer. Fuck you, I'm going to treat you the exact same. This ticket I'd rather throw in the fucking bin than give it to you. Now, I'm not like that. Even if it's got my red in, fucking have it. But
Have it, mate, you'll get a ticket. Well done, great.
people say to
There's
road,
people
the road
going
to
around
hell
now.
is paved with good intentions, they say, don't they?
You're saying about car parks. I mean, the genius that bought Russell's Hall Hospital's car
Oh,
park.
I must have spent thousands of pounds there over the last few years, and I'm not even joking. Thousands.
But if you think, like, why have you bought this? You can build houses. You get no. I'm going to draw some white lines, and I'm going to make £1 million a year off people who are either visiting someone who's sick or someone who is sick.
You know what annoys me more about that? It doesn't even, that car park is privately owned. It
Yeah.
doesn't even go back into the hospital. If I was paying for a nurse's wages doing that, paying them thousands of pounds, it would definitely ease the pain.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's like, I'm a stubborn git, and I'll tell people, I don't fucking pay. I will park on there, but I don't pay. I'll ring the buzzer. I'll say, mate, I've come up in ever such a haste, and you know, I've got no change in that, and I'll loose you out the barrier. So there's a tip for you.
I wish I'd have known that earlier.
just ring the information and say, mate, I've come up in a panic in a hurry. Usually you ring the information and they'll just lift the barrier, but sometimes just say it. And you know what? You know, if they can't keep you there. By law, they're not allowed to keep you there. You know, might say, we're going to take your registration and send you a fine through the post. No, I know somebody that works there. Head of security, the fucking, you know what I mean? So just do that, and if they say no, you've got to pay. Say, I've got no money.
Yeah.
Say this is where you're going to be a nice charitable citizen and pay my fucking ticket
I'll
for
pass
me.
it forward. I'll be nice to someone else.
That's it. You know what I mean? And like you say, them smart who come up with it. But again, I wrote a quote once, and it was within every misfortune, there is fortune within every misfortune. You can't spell misfortune without fortune, and with your misfortune, someone's finding the fortune. Trust me. And that's they capitalise on someone's hurt and hate, and you know, not hate, but their hurt and their tragedy. You know, someone's ill, like you say, you spend a lot of time at the hospital. Now, I believe people like yourself should get a permit.
You know what? Even because obviously my daughter's disabled, so we have a blue badge. That means I'll get to park in a better spot. You'd think that if you've got that, they'd go, okay, your blue badge, you know, you're up here a lot. Let's waive the fees for this. But no, but it's all about money, isn't it?
It's,
That's
yeah,
all
and
it
it
comes
is,
down
and
to.
at the end of the day, that's all people focus on. I mean, why do you go to work? You go to work for money. Why do you go to work for money? You're selling your time, you know, and that's where people have got to get away from, is that corporate mindset. But you don't, because you've got that corporate foot on your fucking head all the time. It's bound to get you thinking, you know what, I want to be the one with my foot on someone's head. You know, and
Yeah.
it's a shame, and I think that's, like, going back to nostalgia, that's what we're lacking. We're lacking that interaction and that enjoyment of life, that fun and that light-hearted, you know, way of living.
The old way I lived in though was your family time was your family time.
Yeah.
So be it sitting down watching a movie, picking conkers, doing whatever.
There's a lot of distractions now in that, isn't there?
Mm.
You know,
How many times do you, like, you're somewhere, we touched up on it not before, you know, where I'm busy sending an email or whatever, because I've got my, it's like I've got to go to an office on my laptop, shut it all down, then I'm free.
It's
You're not
there,
free,
yeah.
there's a ball of chain right in your pocket, you know, and dad, hold on a minute, let me just say, dad, hold on, by then the fucking moment's passed.
Yeah.
To the kid anyway, and it's so many distractions with these little devices, and it's all carefully construed.
And on that note, lads, I'm going to leave with a little quote, and that's going to be, tomorrow is a mystery. Yesterday is history, but today is a gift. That's what I call it, the present. Till next week, ta-ra a bit.
Listen, listen, listen.